Here we go. All right, y'all. We got a group discussion.
What up, world?
What's up? What's up? Guest over here, the homie.
What up?
So, we're gonna talk about. We're using this time as a group to talk about Marvel and DC films. Which I want to get into the animated shit too. We'll see how it goes. So, first of all, I want to get an opinion in here. Who's with Marvel and who's with DC right now?
As far as
wait. Before you answer that, let me tell you this. Overall, don't count the movies. Just give me who was you riding with before the movies came out? Was you riding with Marvel or was you riding with DC? Because I was riding with DC. Which I mean is, I just want to know.
Well, because of you talking about because of all their product with animation.
I'm saying that because I want to know how you felt before the Marvel movies dropped.
As a franchise,
as a fan.
I'm a Marvel fan. I've always been
you were a Marvel fan strictly.
No, not strictly, but I mean,
or you were leaning
much more than the DC. I mean, I like DC, but Marvel's storytelling and everything is just done more phenomenally, especially if you read the comics.
And you felt that way before the movies came out?
Oh, yes, long before.
Okay.
Long before.
What about you, Al?
Their characters are better.
Before I watched any movie that was like a Marvel movie, I already had expectations of if they were to do any comic book movie or genre movie or universe, it'd have to be Marvel just because their characters, their universe is bigger to me. It just seems that way.
They seem less generic to me too.
Right. It's
like DC has when you watch the Justice League cartoon and they did their expansion with the characters on there, what was that dude from the future?
I just feel like DC's been doing movies for so long already.
Yeah, they have.
We've seen Batman, we've seen Supermans, we've seen fucking.
You see, it was time for a changing of the guard, or
definitely. Just that style of character, or just that the restraint of how they were doing films back then. Now we have technology, it would just be more interesting to have a Marvel movie
sure.
Universes in space and shit you know what I'm saying this. The whole X-Men saga, the Phoenix saga. Imagine if that was told on the big screen.
Those have been out for DC movies have been out for way longer. Now, that's why I'm saying I was DC, because I had the animated cartoons plus the comics, and then, like you said, the old Superman movie, the old Batman movies. So that was we didn't ever had no Marvel shit except for the cartoons and comics. We never really had a strong Marvel.
I mean, they did put out some games for the Sega and stuff like that, and
the reason why is because Marvel's characters aren't as strong as DC's.
Superman.
They don't have
Batman.
Right, they have sole characters that just can drive the franchise alone. Spider-Man is a heavy standalone.
He's a heavy hitter.
You know what I mean? But Wolverine was never that. Fucking Cyclops, the X-Men, they're or whatever. You know what I mean? Deadpool, all these characters that they're coming out with now, they could have never done standalone, hold their own back then. The only reason it's happening now is because we're so far in the evolution of the movies, and Marvel has built such a strong.
That's what I'm saying.
Respect as far as their films go.
To me, before, like I said, I was DC, and I was man, DC, whatever. Marvel was an afterthought for me. Other than I liked it, but I was more pro DC because of the content they had and how much I got to see it in their animated movies and the cartoons I loved. Plus, they was in the we had the old Batman, the old Superman movies, so. They were Marvel.
But is that due to more due to nostalgia?
Hold on. They were what Marvel is now back then.
That's what I'm saying. You based it off of nostalgia?
No, it wasn't nostalgia.
Because if you look at it from our perspective now, films aren't that great.
If you take, what's your favorite comic book character?
I have to think about that, man. It's hard.
Well, if you had to have one movie come out from either side, which one would it be? Like, what character? Or which?
Say it again.
Like, if you had one movie, say none of these movies were made, no, they're
And
Marvel.
I have to pick a movie to come out
Yeah, off of one character.
of which
Or one
DC or Marvel.
It doesn't matter.
Who would I want to see?
Yeah.
Ooh, shit. I can only pick one.
Yeah, and remember, don't use the
knowledge I have. That's
the knowledge
hard.
of the movies that you've seen.
That's hard, bro.
Just based off of, the character itself. What he does and his villain.
Okay, for me, Batman is one of the most
easy, right?
Dope heroes out there.
Right. So imagine you have the movie come out and it's done well. And the reason why it's done well is because Batman is shot. It's always been, whenever it's successful, it's always been done in a way that it's not shot like a superhero or comic book movie. It's either done like a gangster film or like a crime,
true to the
suspense. But they have other aspects in the movie other than this is an action comic book fantasy type of vibe. Like when they do comic book movies, they never do well because those stories don't translate well onto the big screen.
You're talking about DC itself?
Just in general. That's why DC isn't as good as making movies as Marvel is, because they take a different realm. They get better actors, and the plots are they're a little better in the way they tell the story as far as like character to you know what I mean. So I just feel like Marvel has more stories to tell than DC does. Like DC has already told our stories. Like, really, do you really want to see the Justice League? Like,
especially their
like, do you really want to see Batman and Superman again on screen? Do you really want to see?
If it's done right. If it's done
you really
right,
don't,
like,
though.
I do.
You really don't, John.
I do, and I'll tell you.
Who are they gonna fight?
I do, and
Doomsday, Darkseid. Like, you
Darkseid.
don't really want to see that.
I do.
Darkseid is the only. Darkseid is the only character they have.
Think about all the stuff about Marvel that you don't know. You've never seen Thanos before.
I feel that, yeah.
You've never like really seen the the nuances of like these characters being told before, like other than
which is crazy. That's why I like that they did.
They never gave us these stories other than in the comic books.
So you talking about
us a lot of stories.
You're getting fresh. You're getting fresh content.
Fresh content. The characters are just better told on screen. Like,
and Marvel has a way of doing it.
We're not tired of seeing.
They're truer. They're truer to the characters.
Like if they did they can't do no origin story for no fucking DC character. We're just not gonna.
You're tired.
We're just tired of it. They're older than any of us.
But then Spider-Man, how many origins of that?
Exactly, but we're tired of it. That's why they had.
And that's why we didn't get an origin story.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like DC has to do that stuff because they feel like they have to catch up to Marvel, so they're making the Justice League and all this shit. But they don't really need to do that. Like they just need to do standalone superhero movies. That's what they're good at.
That's a mistake. To rush into Justice League, I feel is
they're never gonna be able to compete on that big scale, super galactic, interstellar battle type shit. It's gonna look corny.
But you know what the messed up thing is? I don't think they care. They just want the money. They're just trying to bank
it's all
in.
The licensing and
they're trying to bank in on. Okay, we got the group heroes right now. So
I mean, they're gonna make.
Let's get one of those instead of putting out a product, a strong product.
Yeah,
they just like, let's push this so we can bank on it.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have to sell a fucking movie ticket at all, and they're still gonna make the money. Like the merchandising alone is probably gonna make fucking billions of dollars. Like,
so you gotta give Marvel their props on that because they took their time with it, did it right, built it up. You know what I'm saying?
It's like they can't miss what they're putting out.
And to me personally, DC has an easier task to make the movies that they need to make than Marvel does. Because think about it, to watch a Marvel movie, you really gotta be a Marvel fan or a comic book fan to know what's going on. Yeah. To watch a DC movie, you don't really gotta know what the fuck Batman is to watch it. It's just a good movie, period. Or Superman or whatever. You don't really have to know too much about these characters because they can tell you their origin within the first 2 minutes, and it's like that's it. Marvel, it's more like a drama soap opera with all these guys. Like, what's going on with Wolverine? It's like, that's 3 movies in one. What happened to him? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, seriously.
Batman is one event. His fucking parents got robbed and murdered in front of him, and he's Batman the next day. Like, that's pretty much what it is. Superman, he's a fucking alien that fell out of the sky, and he can fly, and fucking, he's super strong and shit. Like, it ain't really too much there. Like, you know what I mean? It's just, they just when they're trying to make the movies and the characters bigger than what they are, like by adding other cameos and super villains and crossovers and tying in movies to just to compete with Marvel, is not what they're good at doing. You know, they've never been good at doing that. No. So not even in the comic books they were good at doing that. So
no, that's true.
That's so how do you know what the really heavy bomb is? How do you F up Superman and Batman on screen at the same? How do you mess that up?
We all knew that was going to happen.
Damn.
Because
it translated better in the animation.
No, there's your blueprint right there.
No, well, blueprint or not, though, that's not the point. Like if you watch Man of Steel, the way it's shot is not shot like The Dark Knight was shot. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a different kind of element. The Dark Knight is like really gritty, right? And Man of Steel, or even before Man of Steel, if you watch Superman Returns, it's just all lighthearted and shit. Even like, you know, the parts where it was supposed to be taken serious, it just was never as serious of a movie as something like The Dark Knight. I mean, so when they try to put those two together, it just looked awkward.
That falls on directing though, because you can put them together. If you have a vision and a plan and do it. They did it really. I'm gonna make Superman look like Batman. He tried to pull Superman into a dark, gritty world, and it's like, nigga, this dude's the light. He's the beacon. This nigga's the dark.
They fucked up that movie just because they tried to because they didn't want to go with the whole Dark Knight storyboard, but they kind of tried to use a little bit of it, but they, you know what I mean, they had to fit. Basically, that was 2-3 movies put into one.
Yeah, it was.
2-hour film.
It was convoluted and hard to follow.
They also had to tie in Justice League, and also try to tie in slight origin stories of members of Justice League, so they could just jump right into a movie that's full on with these characters where they don't got to do too much, backstory on them. But
I didn't really understand too much at the beginning either.
Right, it's like they left a lot of holes, and you can't really be like, I'm a comic book connoisseur and I'm gonna judge this comic book movie. It's not really fair because the majority of the people that watch that movie don't really know much about the comic book world.
Especially the newer audience.
So it's like, is it a good movie? Yeah, it's cool, but to us, we're like, that's not what the story is. So of course we're gonna be unhappy because it's like we've seen better and we've seen the story.
Okay, but even
but think about an 11-year-old kid that's seeing Batman and Superman for the first time.
They like the eye candy. Okay,
if
you're gonna follow the story,
that's what they're appealing to. They're not
trying to appeal
to
on that.
anymore.
But even as a casual moviegoer, you go and watch that movie, it's so all over the place. It's like, damn, what the hell we went here?
Fast and Furious was #1 in the box office for so long. Like, come on, bro, that movie is terrible. Like,
them's the superheroes too.
I know, but the movie, but really, look at where it came. Look at imagine if there was a comic book on Fast and Furious, and then they made a movie off of it, and that was the movie. Like, of course, people are gonna be pissed off. Like, yo, look at what you guys did to the characters. That's what we are. We're the old guys. It's
that's true.
It's no longer our stories that are being told. These are new generations being rebuilt. That's what comic books are and everything. That's what beauty about comics.
How do you do that to the core of your viewers? That's really
we're no longer the core though. That's what I'm trying to tell you. We're the old motherfuckers now.
No, man.
Yeah, bust out your cash, brother.
Spend some money on a toy.
But look, it's been a while. But look, it's the same as like Nintendo. I know I'm going off a sidetrack, but I'm trying to make a point. Nintendo coming out with your Switch. Most of the things that played Nintendo are like my age.
Right.
We grew up with that shit.
Not true, but right.
It's true.
That's true. Most of the people that were either his age or a little bit older.
They have a strong following of 30-something-year-olds Nintendo.
And 40.
Yeah, of course. You know why though? Because they got a strong following in general. They make up the majority of the population of video game consumer.
But what I'm saying is, you might want to please those kind of fans. You know.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, their core fan base, how could you say it's selfish for us to think that movie was for us, and that just because we're attached to them because we watched the animated series and
I'm insulted that they did that.
You know what it is for us? DC Knights and the animated series, the animated movies. That's what's for us because they're
very adult too.
And they keep it. Those people that are writing those movies, they directly deal with the people that write those stories.
That's why
these movies,
their
they don't
animation
consult.
is great.
They don't consult with the person that wrote
That's
Batman
not true.
versus Superman, because there's a writer that created that story. You
No,
know
like
what I'm
in the Justice League War,
Yeah.
if you watch the bonus features on that, dude, like the person who did
every
the
movie
movie
that's done-
scenes versus the people who
Right.
did the animated scenes, they talk about that and why they did their things differently and stuff. They
Right,
don't.
you gotta-
They don't converse when they do these movies. So the people on the same projects that are doing the same characters and the same sets and whatnot. That are doing the movie versus the movies and the anime, they don't collaborate
Like, you
and
gotta
break
think,
it down before they start.
When you
filming.
were 11 years old and you were waking up at fucking 9 o'clock in the morning on
7
Saturday,
o'clock.
7 o'clock to watch cartoons for fucking 6 hours,
Seriously.
neglecting going outside for that 6 hours just so you can watch your shows, eating a bowl of cereal in front of the TV.
Die
You
Hard.
can't think that is supposed to follow you and that you have that much interest today to still do those things. You don't. That time is for that like that is for that like demographic, the 11-year-old kid. You know what I'm saying? Like there's kids that still do that. Still wake up to watch cartoons.
Yeah,
They're
but it's different cartoons.
It's
man.
different, but that it's just changed.
But
Like
this
your
is-
parents' cartoons were different too.
But
They're
this
probably
what-
like, yo, Tom and Jerry is the shit.
This
my
is
nigga.
what I'm
Like,
saying.
What are you watching? All
The-
this violence.
The
is-
reason these kids
where's
are
the
even
humor?
going to watch these is most likely because of their parents. Their parents grew up on this stuff, and they're gonna take their kids because they want them to experience what they experienced. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's
Yeah, but-
it's heartfelt for these characters, man. It's like
But you got to look at the evolution. Like eventually, Spider-Man's gonna be a black female or some shit like in the future. Like it's an evolution.
oh, here's my. I don't mind those kind of things,
Mhm.
but give me the if you go. It's not a good way to start. It's not a good
No.
way to start. Give me the core first. Give me what the freaking
But they have.
what that character is.
That's what I'm trying to tell
Give
you.
me
they
his
have.
villains and give me his universe. Then go off and do your
How many Spider-Man
Black
movies have there-
Spider-Man or whatever.
How many Spider-Man movies have there been?
The
Man.
problem with that is because Marvel didn't have their hands on Spider-Man
But
right away.
it doesn't matter though, because at the end of the day, they gave it to us.
No, I agree with
Whether
that.
they
But
fucked
we
it up
didn't
or
get it
not.
the way we wanted it was because
Hey,
of who
shit.
was doing it. But
Right.
they, like you said, they did. I agree with
They
that for
still
sure.
tried to give us our
Yeah.
movie. You know. What
I
I mean?
still watched them too. Shit,
And it's
I ain't
like-
go front because I'm a Spider-Man fan. Of course, I was gonna have to go see him.
Like
So-
the Wolverine movie, that was not for kids.
Oh no, but I liked it.
We liked it,
And I'm
but
saying,
other kids.
but look how long
like
it
the kids.
took. Look how long it took for them to put that out. They're afraid of the risk.
But do you think that movie was successful as a like, far as like
It was successful.
it? Yeah, but as far as like in comparison to like
Well, the
Avengers, or
demographic
whatever,
couldn't
like
see it the same.
those
time.
movies were #1 making.
Sure. You're
Damn
right.
near
You're right.
billions of dollars.
You're right.
Like,
because kids.
all
and-
they had to
hold
do
on.
was make a PG version of that.
Because kids and adults are watching that. This one is new. This is a new
Right.
thing that's trending now because we already had Deadpool that came out, did phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Logan did phenomenal. Guess what? What Deadpool 2 is about to come out. They gonna do more trends because it's being successful. Niggas want that. They're like, yeah, give me that, man. Give me that rated R. And I guarantee you, Marvel's about to spit something out.
Well, you just gotta just keep in mind this: there's a generation of kids that has not even seen Wolverine in a yellow suit.
True.
Like
True,
that's
you're
my
right.
point. Is like they're not just catering to us anymore. Like it's no longer. us to- it's-
I agree with
It's
you.
just like music. Like back in the day, they were saying hip hop was fucking terrible, and get to the, where's the soul and the disco, and then now it's like hip hop takes over, and then we're the old heads. It's like, yo, where's the boom bap shit? What's up with all this mumble rap shit? It's the
I don't
it's an
understand the
evolution.
mumble rap.
It's an evolution. You know what I'm saying? It's no longer for us. We got to move on and just treat.
yes,
like,
but you got to look back in order to go forward. You can't just be like
oh, of course, and they
new
are.
generation. Bam, this is what you get.
I mean, they
You're
are.
gonna disrespect what came before you, and you're disrespecting the creators of that content. You know what I'm saying? You just go ahead and we're gonna make Iron Man.
They disrespected themselves by selling the fucking licensing to all that shit. They making millions. You think they mad that a nigga is not in a yellow suit, like, and he's don't got them fucking.
The only
like,
people
don't
that
care.
are mad are the people that are originally attached to that character who had originally developed that character and originally.
I don't think
because
that-
they still get
Okay,
to make
hold
the
on.
animated.
I don't think they're mad at
Animated
that.
ones,
Because subtle changes like that is needed. Nobody wants to see the dude running around in yellow spandex with the claws. Like, come on.
Why not?
I don't
Some
want to
people
see
do.
it.
It looks dope.
Some people do.
When
I
do
don't.
it,
I
right?
don't. Okay, I don't mind subtle changes is fine. Like you trying to make this more grounded and more believable on screen. I don't mind that. But stay close to the source material. Don't go changing the timeline. Don't go changing. You know what I'm saying? Like
I agree.
Like Batman's old now, and Like, how you gonna continue that universe? He's old.
But at the end of the day,
his villains are dead, or Joker's dead. Like, what are you doing? Like, come on.
But at the end of the day, all we care about as just because it's not just a story that they're telling. It's not just like something that's like dear to us because we grew up on it and we are so fond of these characters. At the end of the day, they just got to make a quality movie,
exactly,
quality story and quality characters and chemistry on film and cinematography and all that shit. And sometimes, I feel like these big corporations with all this money and shit, they take a lot of shortcuts.
Oh heck yeah!
Because they know it's like an easy layup to make billions of dollars because they take a character that's already
guess what you gonna
making so much money and to just say they're making a movie.
You gonna piss off a lot of fans, like I said.
But guess what they get to do? They get to make another one.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay, but eventually
fans are gonna get pissed.
No, we won't. Eventually, we're gonna boycott that crap.
You don't think that they said that before? This ain't the
hold on.
Comic book
you went and saw BVS, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and then you went and saw Suicide Squad.
Yes.
Okay. Did you like any of those?
I mean, I liked BVS more than I like Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad.
But were they high on your were they high? Like, were you giving them high grades? Were you like, yeah, I want to rewatch these movies. I'll pay to rewatch these. It's great like that.
No.
Okay. Now, Justice League comes out pretty soon.
Right.
Say you go see that and it's an egg, like drops a nasty egg on it, right? It's just terrible. What if it's worse than the other two movies? Are you gonna be so willing to go spend your money on another one they put out if it's like those?
Well, first of all, I'm not so willing to spend my money on anything.
Exactly.
Shit is like $15 a movie ticket.
Exactly.
And I got daughter and girl, like she got 7 sisters. It's not
exactly.
It's not the vibe.
You looking at it, go a couple hundred. That's like that's like Disneyland money.
Exactly. So, for one, yeah,
it's got to be worth your time, right?
But you also got to keep in mind they're very strategic on when and how they put these movies out. It's not like they could just be like. It's not like they put it out and there's something that's in the box office that's can damn well compete with it. They put They put it out when they know there ain't nothing for you to watch.
Ragnarok is dropping when Justice League is dropping.
Not at the same time.
Pretty close.
Yeah, but it ain't gonna be out like you're not gonna be like I'm not going to the movies all this month.
Like you said, nigga, if you shelling out. If you shelling out Disneyland money, you're gonna think twice about.
It ain't gonna be. They don't put movies out like within the same month. It ain't even gonna be a month. It's gonna be several months.
Ragnarok comes out in November. Right? Justice League comes out in November. Where's your phone? Look it up real quick. Google that real quick. I'm telling you, they come in, and I question that because I'm like, dang, somebody ain't gonna make it.
I mean, you're gonna watch both for sure.
I'm gonna watch both, but most people, like you saying, like you got a big old family, you're like, damn man, you know what I'm saying? Like,
well, I guess all your family ain't going to the movies with you then, huh? Shit.
I mean,
that's a point. Could do that. But.
Or they gonna wait till it come out on.
Sorry, little Billy.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna go watch this. You gonna have to stay home.
It comes out in November.
I think those two are coming out around the same time.
I'm pretty sure.
I'm predicting Ragnarok to destroy
November 3rd. Yeah, they both come out in November.
Yeah.
On the same day.
Ragnarok.
It's on the same day.
No, November. One's 17th, one's the 3rd.
Okay, so within like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Of each other.
I'm not saying people aren't gonna go watch both of them, but I'm saying I'm predicting Ragnarok to do much better, critic wise.
I mean, yeah, it should, but.
Well, I mean, see, the way that they have sculpted it in the Marvel cinematic world, you already have this, like, well-developed character in Thor with the history, with the Avengers and everything, and it's like, you're already invested into that. And what DC's doing with that Rush product is just like, it's like, man, y'all trying it. Yeah, we don't really know too much.
But it shouldn't be better, though. Ragnarok shouldn't be a better movie.
You're right, because you're getting the Justice League.
You're absolutely right about
it's
that.
Fucking.
But see, they're smart though, because they also included World War Hulk in there, so you're giving you an element of like the Avengers kind of. Right, you're getting the
team up.
A bam combo, you know.
And I do think Justice League's gonna do better for a couple reasons, but.
Wait. When you say better, you're talking better in the box office.
box office.
Better overall movie.
I think it's gonna be a better movie.
More entertaining.
I think it's just gonna be a better movie, and better in the box office. Because I've seen the Ragnarok story done. I've read the comic.
The comic
Okay,
is
but
dope,
that's-
so I'm
that's-
kind of
somebody's
wondering
dope,
how they're gonna
I
translate
haven't
that
seen-
into
The story's
cinematics.
dope too.
I haven't seen it. I don't know nothing
but it's
about it.
like the Thor movies to me aren't that good.
You're right. They don't got a good track record.
The character himself, I feel like I'm kind of tired already of his presence on screen. So it's like the only reason we're gonna go watch it is because he's fighting the Hulk and he's in like some type of like situation where.
Did
he's
you
gotta
see
do
the
that.
trailer?
Yeah.
You feel nothing. You're just like,
It's whatever.
But then
I seen it, but I also seen the trailer Justice League. I feel the same way.
It feels exactly my point.
But I'm
But
already,
that's super. Hold on though.
But I'm
hold on
already
though.
over
But look what,
all the comic
But look how. But hold on. I feel
I'm
you. You
tired
got
of
a fatigue.
dragging out
You
the
got a
stories.
fatigue. I feel you. But this is Thor's third movie, and this is Justice League's first movie.
Yeah, but it's not.
And you feel the same
That's what I'm
blasé
saying.
way about it, and you
That's not-
shouldn't.
that's not
It's-
true, though.
You shouldn't feel that way. This is Justice League, man. This
Technically,
is
it's
well,
just
it's not
second
It's
movie.
not Superman. So
It's
this is Batman, Wonder Woman,
Technically-
Aquaman, and
But it's not. I felt,
Cyborg.
But I felt the same way. I haven't been excited. The only time I was excited to watch a movie, like one of those movies, was Batman vs Superman, or the new Batman. Like I wasn't excited to watch Avengers or.
The first Avengers. You tripping?
I really wasn't, to be honest.
Man.
Because I'm just like, yo, this is so over. This is gonna be such a like.
But how,
I'm gonna be watching. This shit gonna be in McDonald's. This shit gonna be in.
wait, you
Toys
went
R
in.
Us,
You went in with low expectations on that because you.
Nah, I knew it was gonna be good, of course, but I'm just like,
How did you walk away from?
how many movies are they gonna do before we get to the climax of like why they're doing these movies? Like, what is the main,
the end game?
the end game?
Yeah.
And it's like, how many times are they gonna do the little clip at the end of the movie where they fucking
But see, I
move some
love
sand
that
and
stuff though.
and oh shit, it says look, like how many?
But
times
I
are
love
they gonna
that
do
though. I love
It's
that
cool,
because
but
it's
it's
the
like-
way they interconnect their universe, and,
I get it,
nobody
but
does it like
starts
they
to
do.
get kind of annoying, and it's like, damn, like I gotta.
You
watch-
got fatigue. That's all. You
Right,
got
and it's
fatigue.
like I got the same feeling when it comes to the Marvel movies. I had the same. I started to get the same feeling with the Batman movies, and like all the DC
Wait,
shit.
when Dark Knight and that was coming out.
Yeah, like those were good movies, but like towards the ends of the story, like once they started to like you know,
By the third
last
one?
one,
The
like
third
What did you think about the last Dark Knight? By the way,
Bane?
yeah.
I mean, it was dope. It was. I actually like how they told the story of Bane. Like I liked it.
It was better than giving him some brutish,
Yeah, I liked it.
idiotic,
I liked-
no brain, because he's not that. in
I liked
comics,
it. I
so-
like how they did the whole League of Shadows vibe and like you know what I'm saying. They touched on all that. I like that.
I wasn't
story of
wasn't
Batman.
satisfied to be honest.
But
with you.
Batman is just such a dope character. And he has such dope, strong villains that you could really make a movie
His
about.
Rose Gallery is sick. Yeah.
You can make a movie about any one of his little adventures and shit.
And they
It's gonna
kind
be
of
good.
did too. They did the Joker, even when Nicholson
Scary.
played it.
You
They
can't do
did,
that with anybody else, bro. He's the only comic book character you can do.
Well, you got Spider-Man. Spider-Man has a
Could do
dope
it with
Rose
Spider-Man.
Gallery too.
Could do
Yeah,
it
he
with
does, but
Like Michael Keaton's Vulture is like what Spider-Man deserved in the last few movies. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
he didn't
Spider-Man.
get that. Willem Dafoe as the Green Goblin, but in that like bullshit ass fucking Halloween
Spider-Man
costume
probably-
suit, it just didn't work. You know?
Spider-Man and Batman definitely got the best villains and villain to hero chemistry on screen.
Oh hell yeah, hell yeah.
by far.
And then, you know, Spider-Man's villains just didn't work out because of the choices
But-
that they casted with.
but
Like, they
Spider-Man's-
casted with even in like Tim Burton's movies that he put out for Batman. When you got Michelle Pfeiffer as the Catwoman and Danny DeVito as the Penguin, tell me that was not excellent choices.
Yeah, perfect.
It worked out, you know, and like you get this with Tobey Maguire and it just didn't work. Even the newer Spider-Man, the Andrew Garfield's villains didn't really work. Who was the second villain? Jamie Foxx is
The
Oh, that was terrible.
Electro, right?
That was terrible. Yeah.
I wouldn't say it was terrible, but
I was in the theater, bro, and I'm like, wow, like I like
Kinda
Jimmy,
childish.
I like Jimmy Foxx, but I did not like the direction they went with the villain, like how he became Electro, and It was just I wasn't.
It was
feeling
too childish.
I wasn't feeling it. His
Like,
blue,
again,
his blue aura.
the movies don't be for us. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
You're right,
But look, that was also not
that's
a
a-
Marvel product. That was Sony all the way.
my
That's what I'm
point.
saying.
My point is that's a mistake because if you, I'm telling you, look at Marvel. They're making more movies. They're very well
Marvel's
for
staying
us.
a lot more truer.
We
to
enjoy
their
those movies more,
chronological-
even though they're not all good, but still. And then it filters down into the other, targeted audience. They like those too. It can be done. Is my point. It can be done. Just don't take the shortcut.
So you're saying you could please everybody.
You can please everyone. Yes,
It's impossible.
It's not.
It's impossible.
It's not. You're gonna have your critics, sure,
But I ain't
but
gonna be pleased, motherfucker.
You just sound
Hold on,
sour,
hold on,
nigga.
hold on.
Got a mouthful of lemons over
I'm
there.
gonna do a plug real quick. Tariq, plug yourself. Tariq Beats, because I'm gonna relate this to you.
Mm-hmm.
Tariq Beats, look him up. You got Instagram, whatever.
That's my boy. This is dope.
Yeah, you
Talented man.
We'll,
For sure.
we'll plug that in. So I'm saying, like, you creatively make shit, right?
Right.
Okay. You make that from here, right? And
Right.
then you put it out there. However people take that, if they feel it or they don't, it came from here, right?
Right.
That's my point. That's what they should be doing with the freaking movie, man. Like, you put your heart and soul into that product and then leave it for the fans to feel it or not feel it. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you did that, you did your job. And then the movie's out there for the fans. They gonna love it because if you put your soul and shit into it like that, which you are familiar with, you're gonna get the love. You're gonna get the money. It's gonna gravitate to you. It can't help but do that.
But sometimes that be the problem, though, because the directors try to put too much of their flavor into the movie itself instead of just.
You're
Like,
right.
you got to think, like, if you're a director and you're known for making movies your way, and you've had your success your way, and you've done things your style, whatever, and then I come to you like, yo, I got this movie I want you to do. Here's the story, here's everything, boom. And then I'm like, I come read your shit, and I'm like, you know what? Just do what I just wrote. I don't really need your swag or none of that shit. Just do what I wrote
You're gonna feel
because
insulted.
it's already done. You're gonna feel like, well, why the fuck do you need me?
Yeah, why
You know
me?
what I'm saying? Like,
Why me?
So you're gonna have to creatively change things, and that be the problem. They don't always go by.
Hold on. Did you see Wonder Woman?
Yeah,
Did you like Wonder Woman?
parts of it.
From the DC movies that have been put out, is that the best
best one.
one? Would you say that
No.
we've had?
No,
Really? What is better than Wonder
the
Woman?
Batman movies are better.
No. I'm talking about
Recent.
the
Like Superman.
the Nolan stuff don't count. That don't count right now. We're talking about the universe of DC. That's not part of the universe.
Well, how many movies has there been?
You only had.
Wait. What you mean that ain't part of the DC universe?
It's not. I'm serious.
And it's trash.
I'm serious.
Trash. I gotta say about that shit. Marvel was wiping their ass with that shit. Then, if that's the case, I didn't get to see the Wonder Woman yet. I'm about to go see it real soon though, because
It's cool.
It's good. It's good.
I would ask you. Would you say that that's the best one?
Yes.
If we have to
Out of
exclude
what,
the Batman
though?
trilogy.
Bro. So what counts?
Batman vs Superman, Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman. Am I missing something? I don't think so.
The Superman is
There's-
Christopher
Oh
Nolan.
yeah, and the Superman. Superman was the
Man of
first
Steel
one.
and the
Man of
other one.
Steel, BVS, Suicide Squad, and then Wonder Woman. That's all we have, and then we're getting Justice League.
What the fuck kind of choices are they making
I know.
as far as
That's
what
what I'm
movies
trying
they're
to
putting
say.
out?
I mean, they're.
They in the trenches taking grenades.
I don't know why they're doing Justice League, to be honest with you.
With no Superman.
I mean, Superman's gonna be in it.
But he gonna come back, yeah.
Superman's definitely gonna be like
The
villain.
resurrection.
I
He's
know,
gonna be like
but
the villain.
he should be at the front line.
Well, they killed him already.
Yeah, I know.
That's the problem. Like they
Man.
really are fucking up. Like
They-
they're breaking fundamental storytelling rules. They're
It's
breaking.
bad.
It's like,
So-
how do you kill your main you're gonna kill Superman and then just bring him back and then he's supposed to fight this great threat, but what are you gonna die again?
Your
Like we
biggest-
don't give a fuck now. You
Your
killed the
big-
nigga already.
Your
Like,
biggest gun is
like
gone.
yeah, it's like come on,
Gone.
bro. You used your super meter right away. As soon as the first round, you used it right away. Like you're no threat.
Not even the first round, the first few minutes of
It's
the
like
battle,
we
dog.
really don't even care now. Like you cannot do that. That's just a mistake.
It is.
So it's like,
But then there we go. The director.
but they did that
And it's
to
just the
push
direction.
the
That
movie
was
on us so
storytelling.
quickly
I know.
to accelerate everything because now it's like we gotta fight this fucking nigga from space that we don't know about and he's super strong and we don't have Superman. So we got to
Wait,
team
but they
together
didn't even really
to do
hint
this.
towards that.
Oh shit!
In that movie.
Now we got to fight Superman 2? Like, fuck. So it's like, that's gonna be the movie, is like Superman. I already know that's what they're gonna do.
That's just like the war. The movie they
You think
did.
Superman's gonna be the
Of course he's
lieutenant
gonna be,
or whatever?
he's
like,
gonna be a villain in the movie. Like, we already know that. Like, it's not even like, they're not even, that's what I'm
I
saying.
just
They're not
think-
even good
I
at
think it's
hiding their
gonna be.
storytelling.
I think it's gonna be the Goku route where he come to save. Then niggas gonna get wrecked.
No, of course they are.
He's gonna
And
come in to save them and not.
It's gonna be both, John. Because it has to be both and all of that to even compete with a Marvel movie. Like, at this point, they got to do everything. They got to put everything in
But
there. Batman might die.
All I can say is I don't have any high hopes
like,
or expectations for any DC product that they're putting out. Marvel is just so superior as
Look,
far as
man,
their storytelling.
this is what I'm saying. They got-
Batman is their only hope.
They gotta fix this crap, man. They gotta fix it fast, cause you're getting mollywopped by Marvel. You're getting
But
mollywopped.
Batman is their,
competition.
but see, it's not fair though, because Batman is their only character they can tell a story.
But that's their fault too,
I
because
think they
that's
can
the
do
only
it.
character that they focused on for so long through the years. That's the only character people really know. Like,
Nah, it's
they
not
could have
just-
gave
it's
them
not
Wonder
that,
Woman
it's-
all kinds a long time ago.
It's not just that though. It's just the fact that Batman is just done perfectly.
Well, he's a human being.
He's just done perfectly.
You know,
the way they wrote and the way they created.
But let's say there's elements I like of Man
like
of Steel.
Superman is kind of corny.
There's
like,
elements I
very
like.
corny.
There's
Yeah,
elements I
kinda.
like of Man of Steel. And if you remember the first Superman with Christopher Reeves, if they could have blended that somehow, you know what I'm saying? It would have made for a better movie. I'm talking like, because that was a grounded movie, even though he's a superhero, you know what I'm saying? He's got all these powers. He's saving a bunch of people. He has, he has obstacles, you know?
It's 2017, bro. You mean to tell me we gotta watch another Superman movie with this nigga in high school acting like he can't throw the football across the planet? And
Yeah, but they only did
I'm not
that.
gonna do that. They did a Smallville and all that shit. They need to
No.
give us something great already.
They
And
could have.
because they've proven that character, all they've proven to us is that character is just not translated well on
film.
On film, like, it
Except
just
for
doesn't.
that.
Even those old movies were bad.
The first two were great,
No, they were bad.
especially for their time.
Nigga, those movies were bad.
No.
This nigga stopped the missile. And his
Now,
fucking hair.
when you go back,
Like, come on,
when
bro.
you
That
go
was
back
really-
now,
the
yes.
nigga gave up his power for some pussy and got his ass whooped.
He sure did. That
Like-
show you what DC be
Hold on,
thinking.
no, hold on.
They got beat up by some like
Look,
regular
I'm,
niggas. Like,
hold on.
and he was standing there
Look,
like,
hey, why that nigga get mad though? I was like, man, fuck that pussy. I ain't gonna have no niggas
Right.
beat my ass like that. Nigga went and got his power back quick.
He went back.
He went and got this and went right back to the same
you
diner.
know
Nigga,
why,
like,
right?
come on,
You
bro.
know why he did that? Because the pussy obviously wasn't that
Put
good.
tips
He was
on.
like, I'm cool. That was enough.
Oh, damn.
Hold on, but here's the thing. I know you ain't pro Superman, bro. So you can bash it like that. I'm not biased here, okay? I like Batman and Superman.
I'm just saying, the cartoon itself is better.
Much
Because-
far superior.
Because they
far
can
superior.
like go above and beyond and they can implement other
They can
shit.
do that
and they
now.
can tell a story.
Like you said, this is 2017. They can do that now on screen. They can
But
do that now.
you know why they can't do it though, John? Because the difference between the animated series and the actual movie is they don't have a wide audience like that where they gotta fucking tell the origin story and explain 100 different things.
Actually, they
and do all that shit within 2 hours because you're paying $30 to see this movie. On the animated thing, like, they're just focusing on the core fan base. We already know everything we need to know about them. So they could just tell us what we, like, show us the stories that are interesting. Instead of just, like, Superman, he fell out of the sky. He's a fucking alien. The nigga's kind of dorky. He loves this reporter bitch. And, ooh, like, there's fucking, oh yeah, there's this other rich guy. He's bald and he's, like, got this
But you know what? They
infatuation with,
can't
like,
do
they don't
nothing
gotta-
else with that character. That's all they got with
Exactly,
Superman.
and it's like that's the problem is because he literally don't have no weakness. The only weakness is that he like loves this bitch. Like it's just lame. They can't.
I think
gotta do
they're
something
they're
else.
afraid to tell. They're scared to really.
what story can
They're
they
afraid
tell?
to go.
They're gonna bring
unleash.
Brainiac.
They're
in or
afraid to
something.
go unleash with Superman.
Just
because
bring his villains in.
They're
whoever
afraid
they are.
because unlike Superman, Batman has a lot of groundwork already. Superman don't. His groundwork was in the 70s. Okay.
No, I'm gonna tell you why. I'm trying to tell like as far as this is exactly why. They could tell the story of Brainiac or Superman versus Doomsday or you know what I'm saying. like do all these stories and tell them on the big screen, and we'd probably be like, yo, some dope action and all that shit, but it would be a shitty movie. You know why? Because there's no like, you don't care about what's happening really. Like you don't care about the characters. There's no like urgency. There's no suspense. There's none of that. It's just a bunch of nonsense and
But
fighting.
that's what
shit.
we're getting
They
now.
They can't give you that with Superman in a live action movie. The live action shit is just hard. Like imagine if they did the what's the animated movie that they came out with Superman where he was fighting fucking
Green Lantern.
no, where he actually fought Darkseid and like Superman versus Darkseid. Like if they showed that, which they probably are, the challenge is getting you to care about what's gonna happen to the character.
It looks like
care
they're
about the
trying
story, like
to do the
instead
one
of just-
Justice League War. That's
like,
what it looks like.
you can't just think that just because it has good action and the fighting was good and they nailed the characters, like the look and all that it's gonna be a good movie. Like you gotta actually give a fuck about what's gonna happen.
Exactly.
Like you gotta feel like, nigga, the world's gonna blow up.
Exactly why
Superman's gonna save
Marvel.
us.
Exactly
Like,
why Marvel's killing
they
them.
can't do that
Because
It's-
they chose a different route and they effing up. They could have done that. They could have done that.
I just think they can't.
People would have. I would have watched their movies if we would have popped them out one by one instead
In order
of
to
rushing.
do that, you gotta do shit like the origin story.
I agree.
And then you gotta do shit like Smallville.
Oh.
And you gotta get him to
Small.
fucking. You gotta like really make Superman like vulnerable and all this shit. And when he's like, if you see him as like this.
Okay,
strong,
but we know what his vulnerabilities is. People.
right.
Lois Lane.
And
Anybody. That's how you get to Superman. Not just Kryptonite. You mess with the people around him. You mess with. You kill like. It could have been if Joker.
What's the worst thing
Imagine Joker versus Superman.
But what's
This-
the worst thing that can happen to you as a human being? A nigga take your child or your mother. They already did one of those. So it's like, what's left? Like, the nigga's parents are dead in the movie. This nigga daddy died in front of him. His fucking mama dead. The nigga talking shit about his mama. This nigga dead. Like, they did everything already, John. They did, and we still don't care.
It's their fault, but they.
We
you
still
know why?
don't
You know
care.
why? Because they rushed it. They rushed
But
it
because
all.
they had to,
They
though.
did not have to.
They feel like they had to because they're like, we need a Justice League movie
Man,
because we gotta sell these fucking toys and we need
Them
some
toys
fucking-
would have sold. Them toys would have sold anyway.
Not like nigga.
Yes, they would
Marvel
have.
got look.
Hold on,
Marvel,
this is how much
Marvel got-
superior. Look, this is how much more superior Marvel's whole just approach to everything.
I mean, they
basically.
both pretty much
Look.
in Disney's pocket.
What did they do with the DC characters as far as the fighting game went? They took it to Midway and they made it like a Mortal Kombat game. Is it very successful?
Yeah.
Mildly, I would say mildly.
DC versus
DC.
DC versus Mortal Kombat. What would you say is better, that or Marvel versus Capcom?
Oh, Marvel versus Capcom.
Blows it out the fucking water. Okay, so obviously in their marketing department, somebody's doing something wrong. Somebody's like, no, in Marvel, somebody's saying, no, we need to make sure we make the right selections, make the right connections, take our time.
You know who's running the DC helm, right? It's WB, and they've been effing it up. Marvel's got
they might wanna try to-
control of this, which is why it's so much better. Like,
But see, this is the point though. Is like, yeah, it's WB, but like, really is it though? Like, I feel like Disney really like low key runs all that shit
Nah,
because both them
man.
niggas got fucking Lego movies.
Yeah, that's true.
Like both them niggas got exhibits and fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like Universal Studios and shit. Like it's
I think-
pretty
I
much-
think-
it's
I think Disney.
like
I think
Warner
Disney,
Brothers and Universal is the same thing. That's what y'all don't realize. Like Warner Brothers, Universal owns all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
So all of it's really the same. It's all in the same umbrella. At the end of the day, it has nothing to do with the companies is why they're making these bad movies. It's just the characters. Like I'm trying to tell you,
It's
those
not.
characters aren't easy to make movies about. If you
Probably not. But yo, good conversation, man. We will have to continue this for another day.
Tell us what y'all think. You know who you choose in this comic book movie cinematic world clash of the Titans. You know.
yeah, you know what I'm saying. Everybody knows that Marvel was running the shit anyway. So don't
All
really matter.
day.
To be continued, y'all. Thanks for the homie for coming through and being on the video. Dre, as always.
Of course.
Much love. All right, y'all.
Peace.
We out.